Welcome to the Business Leaders Legacy Podcast, the show where we go behind the scenes with business leaders to uncover their vision, strategies, and challenges they face along the way. My name is Chris Bruner. I'm the CEO of Simple AI Solutions and the host of today's podcast. Today, I'm excited to introduce Christian Gribble, the founder and owner of Convict Floor Covering and Design. Christian and the company has been making a significant impact in the flooring industry. Christian, thank you for being here. Can you please introduce yourself, tell our listeners a little about you, your business, and the customers you serve?
Hey, Chris, thank you for having me today. I really appreciate it. My name is Christian. I own Convict Floor Covering and Design. I have this business has been in my family since 1996. I purchased it from my parents, I believe, in 2006. So I've been in the industry a while. I actually don't just do floor covering. I also do a lot of remodeling. So I've actually expanded the business and do other things as well. And it was just a fluke that I got into this business. There was no plan to be in floor covering or in remodeling. I have a psychology degree, which is pretty much useless. So this is where I ended up.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. It sounds like it's been in your family for a while, and it sounds like it's something that's working well. So what does running Convict Hill actually look like for you day to day?
It looks like a bunch of menial tasks, honestly. I mean, I wish it was like a TV show where I just show up to a boardroom and everyone's elegantly dressed and, you just have these meetings, but that's not what it is. I mean, it's day to day, it's setting up jobs, it's calling customers, it's making work orders, doing paperwork. I do all my own bookkeeping. We pretty much run the show with just three people. So, we're each doing a lot and no task is too small and no task is beneath me. So, the main thing I do that's most important to my business is I bid jobs and I interact with customers and I manage the materials, the labor, and what's happening at my jobs, which requires a lot of work.
Yeah. No, it definitely sounds like you are wearing a lot of hats. What do you enjoy most about running your business?
I think I enjoy, there's a lot of freedom with it as far as I can set my own schedule if I want to work at 8 o'clock at night or I want to answer email at 3 a.m. Like my hours can be kind of weird. I also just enjoy the process. I love taking people's, their terrible bathroom or their non-functional kitchen and really making it beautiful and functional. So that's my favorite thing is to take a space and breathe new life into it, and really it sounds ridiculous, but it really does change the way people live and it changes the way they feel in their space. And I think that's the most important thing to me is if you live in a beautiful space, you live in a functional space. These are obviously first world problems, right? But it really does change the way you interact with your family, with your space, and really changes the way you feel.
Yeah. No, I can totally relate on a personal level. Me and my wife are homebodies, and so we enjoy a nice setup at home, and I'm sure a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah. So I know in the design and remodeling space, there's always new things coming up. Are you seeing any big shifts in the industry in regards of like, products or tools or anything like that in the industry?
I think that, technology is definitely changing this industry quite a bit. And I have to admit, I'm a little bit behind on technology. There's all kinds of tools that make my job easier, and some of it I've been able to acclimate to, and some of it I'm still struggling with. So, people can take their room and put it into a program and see what their flooring is going to look like, or see how their room could change, or also AI is a I'm sorry about that, Chris. My phone's ringing.
It's all
Also
good.
AI is a huge tool these days. I'm seeing people, stick their rooms into AI and come up with all kinds of ideas. So it's pretty exciting stuff. Um, and it doesn't really eliminate my job either because they still need me to build it, right? If I'm just executing ideas, I'm very good at that as well, though I do like the design aspect of it.
Yeah, no, I can totally relate with that. Yeah, there is definitely, technology is getting more and more advanced, but it still definitely needs that human interaction, with AI and so yeah, that totally makes sense. What is look, I wanted to do a little shift to just kind of currently where you are at in your business. What's currently working really well for you guys right now? What are you proud of?
Uh, I'm I'm proud of my projects. I'm proud that I'm well known in South Austin and that people look to me to be honest, to be on time, to be on budget, that, because contracting is a business where everyone has a horror story or they have 10 horror stories, right? And that's unfortunate because there are a lot of bad contractors out there. And so I'm really proud to be what I feel like is an excellent contractor. I manage materials and labor and schedules and budgets very well. And so I'm really proud when I can deliver a project on time. Honestly, it's quite shocking. I mean, people come to me and they say, "Oh, I know we're going to be over budget," or "I know it's not going to take 6 weeks. It's going to take, 6 months." And I'm like, "No, it's absolutely not." And people are always shocked when I finish on time, even when they've added things. I can still generally pull it together and finish on time. So
Yeah.
that would be the thing that I feel really great about.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's really cool, and that probably speaks directly to the success you've had within your company. I wanted to on the flip side, what are maybe some of the challenges or frustrations, bottlenecks or things you've been dealing with that have been difficult?
I think with anything in this world, the most difficult things are the human interactions, right? And people's understanding of what's happening. And obviously, it's easy for me. I do this every day. It all makes sense in my head, but it is difficult for customers to take in a million different details and make it make sense. So I think the challenge is to, to try not to overload them with the information, but also to try to, be as forthright and as detailed as possible so they know what they're getting. Because I'll send them a quote. They don't know what half of the language means. They're like, they just don't know. They just have no idea. So it's the challenge is to deliver a quote and a project where their expectations are being met and where I'm not having to come out of my pocket to pay for something that I hadn't bid in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And as you are finding more and more customers and clients, who is your ideal client? Who and where do you find them? What do you do for that?
Yeah, I mean, my ideal client is the client that trusts me and kind of leaves me alone. Like I'm better on my own. I'm better if you're not at the project asking me a million questions or trying to manage what I'm doing because I'm in somebody's home, but it's also my place of work. Like I'm at work when I'm at your house. That is work time to me. It's, and I might be starting 8 or 10 jobs that day. So I don't have lots of time to rehash the whole project with you or explain why I'm doing something. So um I don't even know if I remember the question anymore, but um yeah, so can you tell me the question again, Chris? I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
got
no,
off
no,
in my own
no,
head.
no worries at all. No worries at all. The question, who's your ideal client,
Ah, my ideal
and
client. Yes.
where?
So people with money. I mean, frankly, this is a wants business. This is not a need something. If you need something, you're at the wrong place. This is people that want a new shower or want a new kitchen or want new flooring or carpet or whatever. So the ideal client uh can recognize, that I am very good at my job. They have the money to pay. They have an understanding of the value of what I bring, because I'm not the least expensive contractor out there, right? If you're looking for the least expensive contractor, I'm probably not a great fit, because that's not my niche. So my ideal client has a lot of faith in me and has the money to execute their projects.
Yeah. And what do you do to find clients like that?
Um, I don't do much, honestly. I've been really, really lucky. One of the things I do is I ask for reviews. I ask my customers, especially the happy ones. I mean, sometimes there's unhappy ones. You don't really ask them for reviews, but I ask for reviews. I occasionally do a little advertising, but most of what happens is I get a lot of repeat business and I get a lot of referrals. So, I have some customers that I've known for 25 years, and I've maybe done three or $400,000 worth of projects with them. So those are my bread and butter. The people that have experience with me, they know how I operate. They like my directness. They like my ability to accomplish what they want. And they recognize that. They recognize the value that I bring to the table, not just the bottom line of this is what it costs.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that is very valuable to have that experience for your clients. Um, move into the future and where you're heading in your business. Where do you want Convict Hill to be 6 months, a year down the road from now?
Um, I always have time for more projects for the most part. I've actually scaled my business back quite a bit. There used to be 6 employees, and I was doing more volume. I did a lot of volume. And it's kind of interesting when I look back at, because I keep records for 10 years, and I look back at how many bankers boxes I'll have. And some years I have 4 or 5 bankers boxes, and now I'm down to the little boxes. So I'm managing fewer projects, but I'm managing bigger projects, which is where I really want to be. You know, I'm always going to work hard, and I'm never going to say no to more projects. Like, I'll figure it out if I have to work harder, longer. And I'm also motivated because I have 2 younger children that have extremely expensive sports that they do. So, uh, come see me.
Yeah.
I'll remodel your whole house.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you could solve a problem, right? If you could wave a magic wand and fix one ongoing thing, one ongoing headache within the business, what would it be?
That's a great question. Trying to think of ongoing headaches. I think I don't know if there's a solution to it necessarily, but just, things happen when you're in people's houses that maybe have nothing to do with you, but you're there, right? Like, my air conditioner broke, but you're here, so it must have, like, that's my biggest problem, is something happening and it being attributed to me being there. I think is my biggest headache. And I take care of a lot of things that have nothing to do with me. It's just easier to pay for it and fix it than to argue with somebody that's not my fault. That's not my fault. We didn't do that. We didn't touch it. So I think that's my biggest headache, is fixing stuff that has nothing to do with me, but that makes for a good relationship and makes for a good ending, right? We want a good ending. I want to get referred. I want to be used again. And so I spend money on things that have nothing to do with me. And it's a bummer, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I could understand that. That does make sense. That is a headache. Um, what thinking about the future, right? What does growth look like for you? You mentioned you're focusing a lot more on those bigger projects instead of higher volume. Moving, into this next year, right? Does growth look like doing more higher end projects, or what does growth look like for you? Expanding into new areas? What comes to mind?
I'm not really looking to expand necessarily to new areas. I have over the years limited where I'll go. I used to go anywhere. Like, you want me to go to Georgetown, I'll go to Georgetown. You want me to go to San Antonio, I'll go to San Antonio. And that I found that's not a good use of my time, but I would definitely like some higher end clients. Not that, I mean, the people I'm working with, they definitely have money. They definitely, are on the upper middle class side of things. But I would enjoy having bigger budgets, where people could have the money to spend more and do higher end materials and higher end finishes.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Yeah, it definitely focusing on those higher end clients, those bigger projects, definitely seems like it'd be a good direction to head. Well, Christian, I've really appreciated the conversation today and the insights you shared. Before we go, could you share with our listeners where they can find Convict Hill floor covering and design and to learn more about your business?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. My website is convicthillfloorcovering.com, and I'm in Austin, Texas. So I'm in South Austin, and I'm pretty well known. You could just even type in Convict Hill or anything, which I know it's an unusual name, but it's an area of town. It's not some bizarro thing I just made up. I'm in the area of town that is known as Convict Hill. So that's where you can find me, convicthillfloorcovering.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you. To close, I'd like to ask one last question. Since this is the Business Leaders Legacy podcast, and you as a business leader, owner of Convict Hill, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
Um, I I guess I don't see this business carrying on without me because I don't think my children are going to be involved in this, which is fine. I mean, it is hard to have a business that stays in the family for, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. I mean, that's really, really difficult to do. So I guess I want people to say, man, I used Convict Hill. They're not here anymore, but I wish they were, I wish Christian was still around and could do our project. I don't know. I just want to be remembered as doing a great job and giving excellent service and delivering their projects beyond their expectations.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's a great legacy. All right. Well, thank you so much for your insight. Thank you for sharing. For all of our listeners out there, thank you for tuning in. Again, this is the Business Leaders Legacy podcast. If you enjoyed our conversation, please subscribe. And thank you again, Christian.
Thanks, Chris.